The revolutionary ZANU PF party has been closely following the violent behavior of the Chamisa-led opposition MDC and notes with grave concern the party's increasing propensity to engage in acts of violence and extreme provocation in pursuit of its doomed unconstitutional regime change agenda. It is extremely perturbing to further note that the puppetry party has escalated its orgy of violence to the international arena, with the recent attacks on ZANU PF Politburo member and Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister, Honorable S.P. Moyo, and his delegation is a case in point. The recent assault on Honorable S.P. Moyo and his team in London by MDC hoodlums masquerading as human rights activists while they were on official government business firmly demonstrates the aversion of the opposition to the principle of respect for the rule of law and peaceful protest as set out in the national constitution and the international human rights laws. However, the attack in London on Honorable S.B. Moyo cannot be taken in isolation, as it is part of the beleaguered opposition's grand plan to foment chaos within Zimbabwe and create false impression of a failed state. Since the advent of the new dispensation, more particularly following the resounding victory of the People's Party ZANU PF in the July 2018 harmonized elections, the MDC has unleashed an orgy of violence on peace-loving Zimbabweans. In the last 12 months alone, the MDC pageant for violent protests has led to the death of many innocent lives, injury of many, and destruction of property running into millions of dollars. While the ZANU PF-led government, under the steering stewardship of His Excellency Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, has exceedingly committed to ensuring that the rights of Zimbabweans, including the right to protest, are guaranteed as set out in the supreme law of the land, it has rightfully demonstrated that it cannot turn a blind eye to anarchy. Equally, the Revolutionary Party cannot stand idly while its agents, both within and outside government, are continuously harassed and undermined in discharging their electoral and constitutional mandate by the ideologically bankrupt and sole losers in the form of the MDC and its handlers. As for that, ZANU PF would like to firmly warn the MDC in all its manifestations that going forward, any attacks by its hoodlums on ZANU PF and government officials within and outside the borders of this country will not be taken lightly. The party will not hesitate to respond proportionately to any attacks on its officials and within all lawful means at its disposal. Whilst the party and its leadership continue to counsel peace and unity among all Zimbabweans, our supporters are increasingly worried at the attacks on our leadership and the generality of Zimbabweans. While it had been hoped that the message of peace, unity, and development would be reciprocated by the MDC leadership for the good of our nation, it seems the message has fallen on deaf ears. It is hoped that the concerned parties will take serious heed of this forewarning. The party is aware and commends the government-to-government engagements being pursued in line with international protocols.